Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. I'm your host, the Game Master, and today we're talking about Superman. But before we get into that, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and leave us a comment. That helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, but also we love to hear from you guys. We've got an awesome community here, and that's thanks to you. So thank you so much for being here. So, all that said, let's dive in. The prologue to today's tale begins in the negative universe of Quard, where Batman and Superman arrive at the secret headquarters of Ultraman, located on this planet's North Pole. Superman lifts the gigantic key, unlocking the huge front door, and they enter. The Ultra computer scans Superman and Batman, and it mistakes them for their counterparts from this dimension, Ultraman and Owlman. But the Ultramobile recognizes their costumes and attacks. The sleek blue craft flies forwards and its silver tendrils extend towards them, similar to what Dr. Octopus has, but ending in razor sharp claws. Fighting the Ultramobile is actually insanely difficult because it can do everything that Superman can do, but it's immune to all of his weaknesses. The advantage that Superman has here, though, is that Ultraman typically immediately executes anybody who opposes him. So while Superman shows mercy, he has reoccurring villains that force him to get better and better at fighting. Ultraman does not. As a result, what the Ultramobile knows is also more limited because Ultraman programmed it. It's because of this that Superman wins the fight. After that, we get to the main plot of this adventure, where Batman finds Ultraman's version of the Phantom Zone projector, as well as his version of the Phantom Zone viewer. As Batman searches for the one being who can help them, Ultraman and Owlman show up, and Ultraman threatens to kill Batman for touching his stuff. Superman gives Batman a slight smile and says, "Sounds like this dimension has never heard of prep time." Batman dryly replies, "Ha ha." Then Ultraman flies at Batman, who still has that Omni gadget we mentioned in the last adventure. Using it, he becomes insubstantial, able to pass through walls. The Batman of Earth K then subs another Omni gadget for a pair of Batman Beyond style jet boots so that he can fly out of the way. Owlman, meanwhile, subs one of his gadgets for kryptonite, but Superman stays out of his range and uses heat vision on him. The two world's finest duke it out, and at one point, Ultraman sees that Owlman has been keeping kryptonite from him. So Ultraman takes it from him and sucks the energy out of the green rock. Owlman calls him an idiot, and Ultraman says that that rock was more useful to him than Owlman ever will be. As is always the case, green kryptonite actually strengthens Ultraman instead of weakening him, as it does for Superman. So Ultraman gets one new random power. We roll on the table, and he gets empathy, which allows him to know what other people are feeling, which he thinks is useless. He doesn't care how other people feel, he only cares about himself. Anyways, as he spent his turn doing that, Superman spends his turn attacking Ultraman. Superman hits his counterpart, then hits him again, and Ultraman is knocked out by the Man of Steel. Meanwhile, Batman and Owlman are evenly matched. Superman asks Batman if he wants some help, and Batman says, "Don't even think about it." Both of them use knockout gas, both of them sub Omni gadgets for sealed systems in the form of rebreathers. Both sub their martial arts skill for how hard they can hit. But when the literal smoke clears, Batman is the winner. Superman tells Batman he's glad he pulled it off. Batman gives Superman a dirty look and says, "You doubted me?" Superman smiles and shrugs. Then Batman opens a portal with that device that he stole, and out steps Brainiac 13. But not Brainiac 13 we've seen before. This is the Brainiac 13 who's a native of the reverse universe. So the parts on our Brainiac 13 that are green are red here. And the parts on RB 13 that are purple are gold on him. He looks around, sees the knocked out forms of Ultraman and Owlman, and quickly figures out what's going on. The villains are placed in the dimension B13 was just released from. And Superman explains that back on Earth K, the normal version of Brainiac is using LexCorp to create an army of robots that all run on the Brainiac operating system. Because it is so high tech, even Batman and Superman aren't exactly sure how to write a computer virus that would work against it. Brainiac 13 tells them he'd be happy to lend a hand, so they use Batman's dimension travel gadget and hurry back to Earth K. When they get there, the heroes are attacked by Livewire, Parasite, Prankster, Silver Banshee, and Toyman, who are all under the control of the normal villainous Brainiac. Between the damage that he suffered at the hands of Ultraman and now the damage that he takes from Livewire, the negative universe version of Brainiac 13 is not doing so good. Superman and Batman defeat the brainwashed villains, knocking them all out, and Batman helps the heroic Brainiac get to a terminal where he uploads his mind into the network before his physical body dies. Once online, the heroic Brainiac shuts down all the cell phones, cuts the signal from the encephalobeam, etc., so the legions of zombie-like citizens snap out of it. Batman says he will turn Toyman and Prankster over to the cops. Supergirl deals with Silver Banshee and Livewire, and Superman heads to LexCorp. As soon as he gets there, Superman is swarmed by those Skelebot avatars. Superman has been in so many fights, he starts this encounter low on hit points, but nonetheless, he begins to fight Brainiac's army of skeletal robots. Meanwhile, the original Brainiac, who is in a green-skinned body that is a clone made from Superman's DNA, heads to the geodesic dome that is actually a submerged Brainiac skull ship. Brainiac goes to enter only for Batman, who subbed an Omni gadget for invisibility, to club Brainiac with that chunk of gold kryptonite that was in Metallo's chest previously. A shocked Brainiac bleeds a little from where the rock struck him, his Kryptonian powers stripped from him. Batman smiles and cracks his knuckles, then walks towards Brainiac. Batman subs martial arts for how hard he can hit, and it's lights out for the villain. Which brings us to the epilogue, which takes place back at LexCorp. After Superman defeated the army of Skelebots, the original Lex Luthor wakes up on a medical table in a lab. Directly over him is the encephalobeam pointed right at his forehead. Luthor asks what's going on, and Superman explains that Brainiac had siphoned knowledge from Luthor, as well as several other people, and he'd created android replicas of them. Luthor is furious. Superman says it looks like Brainiac double-crossed him, and Luthor composes himself, saying he has no idea what Superman is talking about. Also here is Lois Lane, who is laying on a similar table, and the next table over is Jimmy Olsen. Several other characters had also been replaced by android replicants, and depending on how this adventure went, they were going to figure into things later, but that was not the path taken. So that said, Superman takes Jimmy home, and for better or worse, Jimmy seems happier now. Then Superman takes Lois back to her apartment, landing on the balcony. For a minute, he's worried that Brainiac extracted from her the knowledge that Clark is Superman, and the love of his life might not even know who he is anymore. But it was hard to get a read on her because she was still groggy from the anesthetic. Either way, Superman tucks Lois into bed and she falls asleep right away after everything she's been to. Clark is a bit sad, but he goes back to his own apartment. The next morning at the Daily Planet, Clark goes to work and looks at Lois often. For the most part, she's busy writing a story about all of this craziness. And Clark feels like he did more than 80 years ago when Lois wouldn't give him the time of day. She finishes up the story, though, right in time for lunch, and she walks over to his desk. Lois leans down, her lips close to his ear, and she whispers, "You know, if you were to take me on a lunch date, Clark, I think that would be super." Clark smiles a bit and grabs his coat. And that was it for this game. We enjoyed playing it. As always, we hope you enjoyed hearing about it. If so, we would love it if you took a quick moment of your time to smash like. Make sure that you're subscribed because YouTube loves to unsubscribe you and not tell you. And last but not least, leave us a comment. And from all of us here at the longest running superhero role playing game on earth, we hope you have a good one, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Bye.